Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Mirade.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this WWE NXT TakeOver War Games 2020 11x14 limited edition autograph poster signed by everyone on the event. Number 23 of only 100 made. Includes signatures from the Undisputed Era: Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, Io Shirai, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Dexter, Loomis, and more. Comes with authentication hologram on the back of the poster. Also comes with mystery autographed 8x10 and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now. Boston Wrestling Sports and the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE, NXT, and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders Current Events, the podcast-style review of some of wrestling's greatest and maybe not so great television shows and pay-per-views that we don't do the live watch-alongs with. It is a sunny, warm afternoon here at MWF Studios, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, in the zip code of Champions, 02176. The old ball sack is a little sweaty right now. I wish we could just open up a few windows, but there's no windows to open. But that's a different story for a different time. Dave Carter is here with me. We're going to be talking about the March 8th, 2021 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw from the award-winning Thunderdome at Tropicana Field in Tampa, Florida. Fans, again, we implore you, after our record-setting month of February, let's keep things going north. Let's give the old Boston Wrestling YouTube and Patreon a little Viagra. Over on the YouTube, the thumbs up helps so much. If you subscribe to the channel, it helps a ton. And most important, share, especially the links to our 4 original studio shoot interviews each week, which are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 10 p.m. The more new fans we have involved in the process, the more great legends we can bring you. As I've noted before, we don't have the ego that many may have out there in the wrestling universe. We realize there's millions and millions and millions of fans that have no idea we exist, but I truly believe once they find out what we're doing and watch it, they're going to really enjoy it, and those numbers are going to continue to grow and grow and grow. It's almost like the excitement of Dave when he's around some of his Tinder women at Valentine's Day. Again, a different story for a different time. Again, even with the coronavirus killing the nightlife, the eBay store is open 24/7 with great wrestling merchandise being added. We have some new T-shirt and poster bundles being added to the eBay store that I hope you will check out. In addition to that, as always, most important, as we note, anyone that watches these shows is a close personal friend, but if you head on over to patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, if you enjoy the early ad-free access to all 4 of those talk shows each week, if you enjoy the exclusive Patreon content that's on there, if you enjoy the world-renowned studio shoot interview DVD library that's been seen by millions online and millions more on The Howard Stern Show, all for less than a cup of coffee down at Starbucks while helping keep wrestling legends working. Well, let me tell you, you're not just a great friend, you're a part of the family. Again, patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Dave, we are, I believe now at this point, less than a month away before we head to Tampa for the Boston Wrestling, quote-unquote, Wrestle House, where we're going to be having some interesting guests in for some live shoots, some TV tapings, some cyber autograph signings, all part of Wrestlemania weekend.
Hell yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we've been waiting for this. We've been neglecting going to any live shows because of COVID. So this is awesome. Just seeing that thing last night on Raw, showing that tickets gonna be on sale, felt like you just felt something there because as passionate fans, I am and you are, being able to go to a live event, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
WrestleMania is back in business, as the ad said.
Yes.
Well, and that it is. It is going to be interesting to see what the setup is going to be, what a non-capacity crowd is going to look like at WrestleMania. It's going to be a very interesting ambiance. That we'll have much more to talk about in the weeks and days ahead as we get closer and closer. I can't believe it is now less than a month away before we at least depart. But I did want to note for the fans that were looking forward to the live episodes this week, we heard from the Hall of Famer Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, today. He may be able to see his lovely wife, Monica, who's been hospitalized since June of 2019 on Friday. So there's a possibility we might have to postpone Tony to, I don't know if next weekend, but sometime in March. But we are set to go with a live. Oh, boy, this is one of my favorites of the year, Dave. You know that. I'm not going to take the words out of your mouth, though. This Saturday night, live at 8 p.m., what do we have to look forward to for the watch-along?
We have Impact Sacrifice available on the Impact Plus app, but you can watch along with us, which I'm excited to do because I like Impact Wrestling, so I enjoy it. I'm glad Dan is going to start getting into it a little bit now. It's going to be fun. I hope you watch along with us. I think you said this was one of our best watch-alongs when we did it last time.
The TNA, I don't know if it was Bound for Glory or whatever the most recent TNA, I'll always call them TNA.
Yeah.
Whatever the most recent Impact Wrestling one we did was, I believe, was the most viewed watch-along we've ever done.
Well, that's awesome.
So I guess more people were interested in us watching it than actually Impact presenting it. But
probably your reaction, too.
All right. Well, we have that to look forward to Saturday night. Either way, we have some other fun stuff we are working on. But I don't know if you want to call it fun stuff or not, but let's break down, chew the fat, the results, the news, the views from the March 8th, 2021 edition of Monday Night Raw. Dave, I pass the baton to you. Let's break it down.
Yes, sir. Let's go. So we kicked off Raw with a video package of what led to Bobby Lashley winning the title from last week's Raw all the way, the Elimination Chamber, everything. A nice video package to open up Raw. They've been doing that a lot lately, so I don't know if that's the new thing they're going to start doing. Then we got Hurt Business walking out back. Bobby's a happy man. They're all dressed to the T, too, and I really like MVP with the cane. I think it's a cool look. He's done such good things for that team. I mean, I think it's awesome. He's been through so much stuff. This is him on the mic. He's been through so much stuff. 16 years he had to wait. He punished The Miz. Gonna set an example to anyone who wants to take the title from him. He's walking into Mania as WWE Champion, and the almighty era has begun. I don't know. That's the first promo, and then we go into The Miz's stuff. But do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, that pretty much spoke for itself.
Well, let me ask you. You like what MVP's been doing? We don't really mention it.
Never a giant fan of his. I don't think he's done a bad job as the mouthpiece. I think guys like Bobby and Shelton need it. So I'd say he's done a serviceable job, I guess is the best way to put it. I really don't get excited when I see he's coming out, but I don't cringe either. So it's somewhere in between for me. I think he's done a serviceable job since his return at Royal Rumble last year in Houston, Texas.
I mean, it's probably better than him wrestling because I know when he first came back.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So then we get The Miz comes out. He gets on the mic and says he's empty-handed. He's done so much for this company. He doesn't take time off. When he says he's not feeling well, they should have believed him. Still, he went out there like a fighting champion and defended his belt, but he lost. So what if he got counted out? It doesn't matter. The title match happened, and that's what his contract says he needs to do. He ended up getting forced to fight again, which isn't in his contract, to fight twice on one night. Bobby Lashley brutalized him after the match. WWE did one thing right, and that was give him a rematch for the championship tonight. That was, the promo, just, the crybaby stuff that he does.
Yeah.
Anything?
Well, the thing with Mrs. Promos is that, the words might change, but it always feels like it's the exact same thing in every promo. To me, they're just a little bit redundant. He had a little spark in him last night where he did lose the championship, but the long drawn out Miz promos have become very boring to me.
So you're not a big fan of that, what's been going on then with him as talking all the time?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it helps him too. I think it overexposes him.
Okay. From there, we got the WWE Championship match. The Miz with John Morrison versus Bobby Lashley with MVP. I love the entrance that they did for Bobby now. That entrance is awesome. That's top notch for him. I thought that was really good. Lashley dominated the match, and he won by submission. That was the match. There wasn't much to say about it. He just dominated the Miz. Like, you figure he would, because that's what he should be doing if he's going to be, getting taken serious. And he shouldn't be I think, how you said for Drew, he shouldn't lose. Well, now if that Bobby has it, Bobby shouldn't lose. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's the run we've been waiting for over a decade. I still have that suspicion, unless they have something brewing that they've kept a well-guarded secret, that all this is just going to be for Drew McIntyre to have his moment in the sun, no pun intended, in Tampa at WrestleMania by actually winning the title this time in front of the fans. Problem with that is, though, they killed his momentum by having him lose it twice over the past year when he shouldn't have lost it at all. They could have chosen to present him stronger and not lose it until the fans were back. That's one man's opinion. I as someone that has studied, watched, and worked in the sport now for as long as I have, I know that would have been the best route to go with it. But on the flip side, I am very happy that Bobby has it right now, and I just continue to hold out hope as someone that just enjoys wrestling and looks at Bobby as a more credible champion than Drew. Maybe that's a talking point that many will debate or argue. I think Bobby is a more credible WWE champion than Drew McIntyre is, but we'll have to see how things play out between now and either April 10th or April 11th.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah, we'll see. From there, Drew backstage, he gets on the mic. He's very upset. He goes, he's the only challenger for the title. There's no one else. What he's been through with, he's the challenger. He calls out Lashley, and then Sheamus attacks him, starts throwing him into things, and basically screaming, this is not over. So, obviously, we're going to get that match again. I could just see you probably going, boy.
I've seen more than enough of those two. They work hard. They try hard. They really lay it in, but...
Yeah. For after the commercial break, we had Drew basically telling Adam Pearce, you're going to set up a match tonight. It's going to be me and Sheamus in a no DQ. Pearce just stares at him, and Drew walks out. So I'm guessing that's going to be the match, but that's what we find out it is. Then we get another segment, which is R-Truth and Strowman backstage. Truth reads a letter to Braun, says he needs his help. He's basically apologizing for everything. Braun says he doesn't apologize for nothing. I don't. It was like it was weird. I know they do weird things with Truth, but this just didn't make any sense to me. But what I did right is Braun looked enormous. He looks so big. He's so jacked now from what he did come in. I don't know if you noticed that. He just looks so jacked. I don't know how WWE isn't doing something else with him than this.
Well, the segment wasn't my cup of tea. The Strowman of 2021, 2020, 2019 really hasn't been my cup of tea either, unfortunately, because they took someone that was very intense and very believable and at times turned him into a moron.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. They did ruin him. They're almost doing what like they did with Ryback. They're doing the same thing with him. Someone hot that could have been some, and then just, like you said, basically making him look stupid, which we're going to get into right now. Braun comes out, starts talking about how Shane has been screwing with him. Shane's laughing at him. Basically, he doesn't know why Shane's doing this to him, and if he comes out here, he's gonna snap his neck like a twig. He's not looking to get fired. He just wants respect. He wants an apology from Shane McMahon. Obviously, Stone Cold Shane McMahon comes out. Shane gets right in Braun's face like he's the toughest SOB, and apologizes, then walks out of the ring. When he's at the top of the ramp, he just starts looking back at Braun. I honestly thought he was going to say something else, but he didn't. He just walked off. That was the segment.
Well, the thing about Shane is I think he's great in moderation. I think he's great as a face. I think he's great as a heel. When I first learned of the WrestleMania plans between these two, I kind of cringed. But at least in this one segment on this one show, I thought they were both very believable here. I was a little surprised Strowman didn't get stunned, but I guess that's a different story for a different time. Maybe for WrestleMania, between the two, they could do a cinematic Raw Underground match.
Oh, okay.
Bring it back, baby.
Smoke, a little almost, we'll be good. Yeah, I thought I thought it was funny. Whenever I see Shane now and he does stuff like that, from what you call him, that makes me pop every time when I hear it. So I mean, it was all right. Like you said, it was better than it usually is between them two. From there, Sheamus starts walking down the ring. His music playing. He gets attacked by Drew. They both get into the ring. The bell finally. So we get the no DQ match, Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. It was hard-hitting, violent match, and I don't know if you've seen the pictures of both them at today, the aftermath of it. Wow, some big lashes on them. It was a good match, but we've seen it, It was definitely a good match. They both work really well, so, I mean, you're not going to get a bad match, but we would like to see different things. I'm guessing that's how you feel, too. They both run each other with the stairs, which knocks them both down. I thought, honestly, you couldn't see what happened to Drew. They only sold it for Sheamus, but they didn't show anything that happened to Drew. I don't get it. To me, it was weird because, yeah, Sheamus got hit, but what happened to Drew? We didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
He fell with the stairs, so I didn't really understand that. They were just stressing the point that Sheamus got hit.
Well, I'm going to guess there was probably some kind of padding or something like that on the other side of the barricade to lessen his fall, which only makes sense.
Yeah, there you go. He basically, Sheamus, the ref stops the match, starts screaming, he needs help. They both can't get up. That was a match. I don't know. What do you think of?
Hey, it wasn't a bad brawl at all. It's just two guys I have zero interest in seeing at this point. I really wasn't all that for Drew McIntyre even when he was the champion. But I said, you know what? Try and be open-minded about it. See if they can create a new top guy for the long term. And because of the unfortunate circumstances with the virus, he really didn't have a fair shot at that. As far as Sheamus goes, I mean, it's just been there, done that. But if you are a Drew McIntyre fan, folks, don't forget we do have some outstanding, extremely rare Drew McIntyre autograph merchandise in the Boston Wrestling eBay store.
Very nice
on a more positive note.
Yeah, very nice pictures. From there, we got a video package of The Fiend, Randy Orton, Alexa, what's been going on with them. I don't know. You probably have nothing to say about that.
Not much.
Then we get a new interviewer, new talent, I guess, Kevin Patrick. He's a new interviewer. I've never seen him on.
He added a lot.
Yeah, I just pointed that out. I mean, laugh at me if you want. We get AJ Styles backstage. Wants to talk about Randy Orton, which I don't understand, but he wants to talk about Randy Orton, talks about how Randy is getting all messed up by The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Randy comes over and basically says something funny with a grown man getting his head messed with, and AJ says he thinks he's weak. Basically, you're weak-minded. Randy obviously threatens him and accepts a match. So that was cool. I actually don't mind that. I like AJ Styles versus Randy for the main event. I thought it was a pretty good match too, but we'll get into that later.
Hell of a promo. No, I don't know. It just seemed like more filler. I don't know anything about the background of the interviewer. Did he come from the NXT UK brand?
Who?
Whoever that guy was that did the interviews.
I didn't even see anything about him. All of a sudden, I just seen, yep, there he is. He might have, because he does have that accent, so I don't know.
I was shocked it wasn't a woman.
Yeah, they usually do that, right? I mean, he's one of many.
To be quite honest, I thought it was going to be a woman.
Yep. Well, hey, you never know. He could be one of the good ones.
Well.
From there, we got Xavier Woods with Kofi versus Sheldon Benjamin and Cedric. Basically, we find out next week they're going to get a tag team title shot. New Day is against the Hurt Business, which is Cedric and Sheldon. It was a good match. I love Xavier Woods. Sheldon's great still. I mean, he can still go. Shelton got caught talking to trash to Kofi outside the ring, so Woods ended up rolling up Shelton for the win. Quick match, simple, just a easy match. Nothing really happened. What do you think?
Well, that was the lead note that I had in the match. I thought it was way too quick, especially considering how long the match was before. When you only have 3 or 4 tag teams on a roster, you're going to get a lot of repeat matches and feuds. It looks like they're already going back to New Day and Hurt Business. I thought they might save that for WrestleMania, and the match itself was good, but the solution to all the repetitiveness is to either grin and bear it or don't bother to watch it weekly, or don't watch it at all, which is a big part of the popularity issue WWE has right now. Where it feels like it's the same thing week after week, month after month. I guess they had enough of the Lucha House Party and Hurt Business feud, so they've gone back to New Day.
It
didn't feel like a New Day. Let me tell you that.
I don't mind it so much. I mean, remember when Usos and New Day were going back and forth for that?
Yeah.
It's not a bad feud. It's just they need more substance to it, and they're not getting that out of it. So, like you said, it's just not many tag teams are going to keep on draining it. From there, I put Stott next to this. This was the worst promo the night right here. Riddle backstage. Retribution wants to break his focus on Slapjack. He's worried about his scooter. That's what he does the whole night. The whole thing's about a scooter. I'm like, are you kidding me? Why do they make this guy a joke? I don't get it. He could be a killer. He's from the UFC, you know what I mean? And he's worried about a scooter. Basically asked Woods, because they're walking through the apron what's that called? The apron, right? What do you think?
The entranceway?
Yeah, the entranceway, but it was like, the curtain, whatever.
Oh, the curtain. Okay, yeah.
Apron, the curtain, and Wood asked Woods if they're going to play Call of Duty later. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Here we go. Ask him if they can watch a scooter, and then he walks off because his music starts playing.
Well, they're trying to get kids to watch. I'm sure that foolishness really helped.
Yeah, what'd you think? You like that? Let me ask you this. Do you like the way they're doing anything with Riddle? No, right?
Absolutely nothing about it is done right, as far as I'm concerned. If the intent is to try and sell merchandise, increase the ratings, those types of things, no. People aren't going to rally around an idiot. If they do rally around an idiot, it's always for the short term. Look at Otis, who the people, laughed along with for maybe a few weeks, and now they look at Otis as if he's just a giant pile of dog shit.
Yeah, it's true.
So they had to turn him heel, and now all of a sudden he thinks he's a modern-day Leon White trying to take out the Mysterios.
Yep. From there, we get the match, Riddle versus Slapjack. We find out next week Riddle's going to defend his U.S. title against Ali, which that actually should be a pretty good match. In this match, I actually put Slapjack looked good. He didn't look bad in this match. He actually looked really good with Riddle. I don't know if Riddle was just on point with his stuff, making him, but it was a smooth match. It wasn't all over the place like sometimes it is. Ali was very vocal outside the ring. Riddle won by pinfall. Ali freaks out on Slapjack after the match. It was what it was. I thought the match was pretty good. I was impressed by Slapjack. What about you?
You were really impressed by Slapjack on
I thought he did well, better than he has. You know what I mean? He actually looked like he was smoother in the ring. Yeah.
It just, to me, it was another match I had no interest in, but on the positive side, it had reasoning behind it, where the leader of the faction is going to get the U.S. title match against Riddle next week, playing off of the impromptu victory he had after that hideous 6-man tag team match. I think it was last week. So yeah, at least there was reasoning behind it, thought process behind it. So that helps the cause a little bit. But I mean, you know what? If I never saw Riddle, never mind Slapjack again, I don't think I'd... what's that song that they're using for WrestleMania? Save your tears for another day?
Yep,
exactly.
Save your tears.
I'll save them.
There you go. From there, they come back for commercial break, and we get your favorite Shane McMahon dancing in the ring. Strowman comes down. Shane starts talking about some stuff, but his mic's having trouble, so he has to get out of the ring, grabs another mic, but he starts walking up the ramp with the new mic. He basically says, did he have fun last week? Yes, he did. He says one thing he has to get done. He needs to come to an understanding with Braun. He would never make Braun look stupid. he says, "You're upset with me, Braun. Stupid is as stupid does." He's basically saying all these things, just not calling Braun stupid as you can get. This guy is so stupid. That's not Shane saying it. He says those things. I just basically, would never call him stupid, but he's saying it in funny little ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After that, he gets, he gets on the mic and he does ba 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 Braun, and that just sets Braun off. He runs after Shane. Braun looks. This was actually kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Braun starts looking for Shane and he sees a white SUV drive off. So Braun starts walking out the door. You see Shane come walk down the camera. And goes, "Man, he's so stupid." I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. It was different.
What was ba 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 Braun supposed to mean?
Because like stupid, like blah blah blah, like he can't get it out. Remember what they did with Goldust and Booker T, the stutter and stuff.
I guess it was over my head. It kind of reminded me, unfortunately, of the Shane Big Show feud that they had back, I think, the month after WrestleMania 2000.
There you go, yeah.
Took place in 2000, believe it or not. But
yep.
We said, which way did he go? Which way did he go? Which way did he go?
Building this up for WrestleMania, you know what? That could be what they start doing, digging some of that stuff back for Braun.
I would have saved this for next week, or I would have scrapped it altogether. One of these segments was way more than enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I didn't mind. I thought it was kind of funny at the end, just because I honestly thought Shane was in the SUV too. So I'm stupid, I guess, because I didn't even notice that he went off the camera.
No, they got one on you too.
Yeah, whatever. From there, we probably got the match of the night, which was the women's tag team title match. Lana and Naomi versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I was waiting for you to make a noise. You didn't do it there. But we had Reginald with Nia and Shayna.
What is Reginald? What is it that they call him?
The sommelier.
I thought that was some kind of a racial reference the first few times I heard it. I don't know what a sommelier is.
I'm not going to keep on saying that word. Reginald's easier to pronounce. It's why.
Yeah,
but
it sure is. I guess they were trying to see if who had the bigger forehead, Reginald or Herman.
But I bet you cracked up after this one. Nia goes,
oh, look, it's our good friend. I don't want to interrupt you, but our good friend Howard Miller has entered the
How you doing, Howard?
Well, he can't hear you, but at least you were polite enough to say hello to Howard.
Oh, okay. Nia knows her way around a fine glass of wine. She's talking about things.
Many a fine meal.
I knew you would have said. I had to mention that. Lana's getting beat up during the match. Naomi was showing out in the match, so she looks good, man. She needs to get out of this whole thing and start just having regular single matches because she can work. She's pretty good. I know you're not going to agree with me, but I think she is.
She's one of the better women.
Okay, so then you surprise me. Reginald gets involved and costs him the match. Nia and Shayna win by pinfall. Nia carried Reginald on his shoulders. I feel bad for that guy because you know what? If he ever is gonna get out of this gimmick and try to be a worker, I don't know how they're gonna get past this. Like you said, like with Otis, how is he ever gonna get past this?
I think Reginald should be saving his paychecks.
Right? Because don't you see this thing just going down the tubes like
I see it going absolutely nowhere as time goes on.
Yeah, exactly, like a James Ellsworth. What did you think of this?
Yeah, it sucked. And you know what I thought is that they have the announcers losing credibility, trying to play up that Lana and Naomi were these great friends that wanted to be a women's tag team for 6 years when they have zero history together and didn't even have a women's tag team division 6 years ago. So, it only hurts their own presentation with complete and utter lies that anyone that's watched WWE for more than a year or two would know is bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. Then we get Randy Orton backstage interview. People backstage have been concerned about him. He says, "I have friends, and no one has ever come up to me. AJ just needs to worry about the three most important letters, RKO." So, it's leading up to their match later on that night. I don't know if you have anything.
No, not much.
No.
Not much on that one.
Then we probably get your favorite interview of the night, which is Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. They have their eyes set on the title as well. Charlotte come over and says, "Show me what you can in the next 5 weeks. See if you have what it takes to face the women's champion." I don't know. I thought it was a pointless interview. I didn't even understand the point of doing it.
I think if these two are going to be in the mixes, we're going to be in for a lot of bad women's matches over the next month.
And what was that just to get Charlotte on the TV? Like, I don't even understand the point. That's all.
Well, you might be right, But I mean, could they have skipped a week and not had Mandy
Absolutely.
Rose, Dana, and Dana's lips on screen?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. There was no reason for it. It was just whatever.
Is there anyone that wants to see these matches take place leading into the show? It just shows the roster is just decimated right now. They need new quality bodies. They need something. They need it ASAP for both the men, the women, and the tag team division. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Hell yeah, I totally get you. From there, we got AJ says he didn't expect Randy to accept the match, but that just shows Randy he's crazy in the head. We get the match. AJ Styles with Almas versus Randy Orton. Great back and forth match, but I mean, you got two veterans in the ring, so you're not going to go wrong. And I still think Randy Orton's probably the best wrestler in the world, or top 5 at least. So you're going to get an AJ too. So you're going to get great match regardless. I put it was just an old school main event because you got two good guys, going at it, But the thing about it is they're both heels, so I didn't know who was the babyface, you know what I mean? It's kind of hot here. I don't know.
Right, exactly. They were both
So
heels.
the only thing is, we got the same thing we've been getting in any Randy match. We got Alexa appears on the screen with Jack in the Box. Basically lights a match, blows it out, and the ring posts shoot with flames, which was funny because it's like the same thing we were talking about for the review for AEW, how the ring posts lit up last time.
Well, I don't think the ring was supposed to explode quite as much on Raw as it was at Revolution, but
That's what I'm saying,
I
but
kind of laughed too when I saw that.
what I was going to say with what I was saying is that at least that would have looked better if they did that at AEW with the ring posts than Jesus the sparklers. But Randy has the black stuff coming out of his mouth again. AJ Styles capitalizes and pins Randy Orton with the phenomenal forearm. Alexa appears on the screen again, just laughing. That's how they go off the air for Raw.
Well, I got a laugh out of as the match was being introduced. The announcers pushed their WrestleMania 35 matches as one of the great WrestleMania matches of all time, and I don't even remember who won. To show you how great I thought their match was, but I guess I don't know. I must have had a popcorn during that one. I don't know, but the match itself last night was good. It just until it turned into the Alexa Bliss hocus pocus bullshit. Totally lost interest at that point. That Randy Orton would be afraid or affected by this little 5-foot-tall possessed woman. I mean, it's gone on too long, way too long. And I'm one for longer storylines, but not this one. I just thought it killed what could have been a good, much stronger main event than we had.
Oh hell yeah! I don't know, like you said with the Alexa Bliss stuff. It just some of the stuff, man. It's just getting old now. They're not doing anything different. You know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, we need to change. We need a fresh coat of paint, as they would say, right? The grade I'm gonna give Raw this week, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. I thought, other than a few little things we liked, I thought the show was just bland. You know what I mean? It was nothing to write home about. Nothing leading into next week other than the Shane McMahon Braun thing, I guess, and that was it.
Yeah, I actually gave it the same grade, 4 out of 10. There was nothing really great about the show at all after the Lashley segment. I thought you did have a potential solid main event with AJ and Orton that was ruined by bullshit.
Right.
They did. I don't know if they generated much interest in the Riddle and Slapjack match where he takes on Ali next week. That remains to be seen. It just felt like more and more and more of the same with the women. The repetitive Shane and McMahon and Braun Strowman segments, the repetitive Miz promos, too much, and not in a good way. So I give it 4 out of 10. The great athletes on the WWE roster certainly did not take any shortcuts. They gave it 110%. I just wish the same could be said for the creative material presented for the fans to enjoy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I hope Raw can get better leading into Mania. Usually this is their prime time, so hopefully...
It was an off week, if that's the case.
Yeah, because this is the prime time, right? Am I not right?
Well, they do have to try and waste their time with Fastlane a week from Sunday, which other than Bryan and Roman, is there even one match announced for that?
But did you notice they didn't say much about Fastlane at all last night? It's all about WrestleMania, which is so weird to me. If you're going to do that, you're basically telling us fans that show doesn't mean anything. Like, they shouldn't even, other than WrestleMania tickets go on sale and, maybe Bobby Lashley maybe be the champion to go on WrestleMania, they should be talking about Fastlane. Like, that's how they used to do it. Now it's They skip right over things, and it's WrestleMania. Like, boom, that's it.
Am I wrong in that there aren't any other matches announced for that show other than Bryan and Roman, or am I forgetting
And the
something?
women's tag team match.
Oh, who was that again?
Shayna and Nia versus Bianca and Sasha, which I said to you because I think they're going to give the titles to Sasha and Bianca so they can have.
That was on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it on DVR with the kid when we were down in Florida over the weekend. So it's not like I sat down and watched SmackDown like I typically did this week. We just, after a long day at the pool and the amusement park back at the hotel, I was able to use the old Xfinity stream on the laptop, and we watched that for a little bit. And I potentially may have skipped part of the women's match. I don't remember. I didn't need any more of the Somali or whatever the term Reginald is referred to as. Now I'm kind of anxious to figure out what it is. I don't know if it means manservant or if it means a maid or if it's a racial reference. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'd have to look it up. Other than that, the only thing that I really wanted to talk about was Cody Rhodes was in an interview, and he basically, I don't like this because it just doesn't add any value to AEW. He says they ask him about his basically NXT moving to another night or Tuesday nights, and he says we destroyed them for over a year now. You didn't destroy them, and you beat the C brand of WWE against your A. And I just hate it because they're selling. I mean, I guess they're supposed to because they're on it. But at the same time, don't go over the top. You didn't destroy them. You beat them maybe by 100, 150,000 every week. And that's their C brand. Like, I don't know. Be believable if you're going to talk. That's the way I look at it.
That'd be like comparing Raw or SmackDown to Doc. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you go. You know what's crazy? So some of the awards I was reading about, you know how they give those stupid Dave Meltzer awards? People voted AEW Dark better than SmackDown this year.
Well, that just shows there's a lot. Well, I mean, the people that enjoy that type of a newsletter and vote or subscribe to a newsletter like that, they enjoy that company an awful lot. So I'm not surprised by that. I can't imagine that any unbiased eye that watched both shows week in and week out really thought that was better than some of the great stuff on SmackDown.
Did you see any of the things? There's a few other ones that I just caught my eye. They gave, what's his name, Marquez or Excalibur, whatever the third announcer is on the team, announcer of the year.
The masked embarrassment that screams Spanish names at random?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
They gave him...
Well, that's good. Tope Suicida.
They gave Feud of the Year to Jon Moxley and Kingston.
Best
promo to Eddie Kingston. How could you not give it to Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns has been killing the game.
I'm just shaking my head right now. But I mean, again, it just shows really how small of a fan base it is that really engages online. If that's what the votes were for. I mean, I'm not saying that WWE had a great year in 2020 by any stretch of the imagination, but compared to what you just read to me, those results are a little off.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying that the be end all, but it's just... That just stuck out to me. Like, I mean, there's got to be a couple, at least, 2,000-3,000 people that friggin', like, you know, at least subscribe to that shit. And I just can't believe that they're all AEW people and they're going to, that's not right. It was blown way out of proportion, I think. But other than that, that's all I got. I just wanted to say those couple things to see your reactions.
Well, you got me a little fired up now as we end the show. Unbelievable. All right. Well, we'll have to do our own award show this year. We'll call it the Fabo Awards, and we'll have little statues that look like John Cena Sr. with his piece.
Let's do it at Wrestle House.
Well, that's April. I don't think we'd be able to appropriately give awards for 2021 the second week in April.
Well, we can do whatever we want.
It'd be a little unfair, I think, to the rest of the year, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
All right, wrestling fans, we're getting ready to wrap up a little earlier than usual, but don't forget at the top of the hour, 10 p.m., the Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, is back for a super-sized episode of Wrestling Insiders. He discusses breaking into the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling promotion back in the early 1970s as a teenager, almost apropos, where Jim Crockett passed away last week. And then it leads to some stories from the territorial days. I have to say, put the women and children to bed, Dave, even with your standards with some of those pigs on Tinder. I tell you, it is some wild stuff. You might even say illegal stuff, but that's how we roll on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Then tomorrow night, don't forget, 10 p.m., we are back for Wrestling Insider Special Edition, where we always have rotating guests. We're going to be joined by Nasty Boys member Jerry Saggs, who discusses WWF in 1991 in depth, some WCW stories, some AWA stories, some Memphis stories when the Nasty Boys lived with the Rockers in a one-bedroom apartment, which must have made for some grade A quality material in and of itself. And of course, Thursday night, we're back with Party with Marty at 10 o'clock, Marty Jannetty. Before that, I'm sure Dave and I will be breaking down the happenings from AEW and NXT for our Creature double feature on Thursday nights at 9 and 10. And then, of course, Friday night, 10 p.m., we'll be back with Fabulous Fridays with John Cena Sr. The heat is on in the studio. The glue could be coming a little loose. Hopefully, you'll firm that bad boy up for Margot Ouellette. And then again, we have the watch-along to look forward to, at least on Saturday, for Impact Sacrifice. It is going to be a happening.
Hell yeah.
Did I forget anything?
No, that's it. Just join us. I can't wait.
Just join us, fans. Again, if you enjoyed tonight, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It costs absolutely nothing. You can click the little notification bell so you never miss an episode. Again, we ask you, especially when it comes to our 4 big original in-studio shoot interview talk shows each week, share that link, baby, across your social media, your Twitter, your Facebook, wrestling Facebook groups, Reddit, wrestling websites. Let them know what's going on here in Boston wrestling. Again, millions of fans have no idea we exist, but we continue to grow and grow. We set records across the board in February. We want to keep the momentum going, especially now during Wrestlemania season, when we have the most casual fans of all interested in the king of sports. And the 80s and 90s nostalgia talk is cool, so we got plenty of that. So for my partner in crime, Dave Carter, I'm Dan Mirade. Again, we'll see you at 10 o'clock with Tony Atlas. We'll be back with our next TV review program Thursday at 9. We'll see you then. Good night. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, Thursday, March the 9th, 1989. In the opening contest, Paul Roma beat Barry Horowitz. Rick Martel battled King Haku to a time-limit draw. Brutus the Barber Beefcake defeated Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase. Hercules with the win over Dino Bravo via disqualification. The Brainbusters beat the Rockers. Bret Hitman Hart battled the Honky Tonk Man to a double countout. Coco Beware victorious over the Gladiator. And in the main event, Hulk Hogan defeated the Big Boss Man. If you were in Memphis live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.